What it do, what it do, what it do, PML family. This is your boy Is Nefarious, and I'm here with another edition of your favorite series, Gold Rush. And I know what you're asking. I know exactly what you're asking, and it's gonna
Let's
be.
play! Gee, money, Christmas! Time's the game start!
Unfortunately, there is no game this week. My opponent. Yeah, I know. My opponent wasn't available.
This is killing me.
Unfortunately, the Rams user hasn't been available for the last couple of weeks. Hopefully, he comes back, but we won't know. But we will get the force win this week. Yeah, at least we're happy about that. We will get the force win, so we will move to 4-2 on the season, and we will have sole position of first place in the NFC West. Right now, we're gonna jump into some other things. We'll talk about our matchup coming up against the Packers, and then we'll talk about maybe some contract stuff like you see here. Right now, we're looking at who's coming up in the next negotiations. As you can see, we got a bunch of guys. A lot of these guys too were just off-season signed, which have like 1-year deals. One of those bare minimum free agent signings. So a lot of those guys we aren't planning on re-signing. But Mike Williams is somebody we want to keep around. I mean, you gotta love his size and his ability. 6'4", 220. He's a superstar wide receiver with good abilities. I believe he has a matchup nightmare, and then he has red zone. I forget what it's called. It's like red zone elite or something like that. Has a higher catch ability when in the red zone. So we definitely want to keep him around. Having him and George Kittle in the red zone is going to be a big part of our offense. We will use Ty Chandler and George Kittle obviously to get down there, but once we're in the red zone, having Mike Williams and George Kittle would be great. And as you can see there, he kind of denied us. He said we need a bigger bonus to, keep him aboard. So next week we'll try again. And we had an injury that actually, a guy that just came off injury, and Javon Kinlaw, our starting defensive tackle. Currently he is our starting defensive tackle, but we have Eric Armstead. We run a 4-3, so we have 2 defensive tackles in the game. Eric Armstead would obviously be a DT1, but based on how they line up, the DT1 actually lines up closer to the left end, and on my left end I have Nick Bosa. So I want to put Eric Armstead on the right side next to the right end, just to bolster that right side a little bit and add more equal block shed throughout the lineup. Because if I have Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead on one side of the line, my opposing player could just shade blocking that way and focus on that side. If I have him spread out a little bit, then he has to think about it a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna do here, is have Eric Armstead line up closer to the right end, and have Javon Kinlaw line up closer to Nick Bosa to the left end. We did a little bit of training. Greenlaw, we want to get him up to an 85 so we could get his second superstar ability. Then we got Ty Chandler, who's focal point of our series, so we're always going to have him in there. And then we have the right guard that we're trying to build up, Elijah Vera-Tucker. So hopefully we get him up. He is a star dev trait, so hopefully by next season he is high 70s for us. We're probably not going to bring back Lincoln Tomlinson. We're going to try to get somebody in free agency for the most part, even though offensive linemen in this game are rare, and also very few in between. Lincoln Thomas is going to want a lot of money, so I don't plan on bringing him back through a re-sign, because he's not going to re-sign. I'd rather get him cheaper in free agency, or get a cheaper option in free agency, low 70s, something like that. Or maybe draft a guy like we did Elijah Vera-Tucker to take over Lincoln Tomlinson's position. We're going to take a look at their lineup here. They got Jordan Love as their starting quarterback. They traded Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love's pretty solid. We took a look at his stats. Nothing too crazy, but he's solid across the board. Then you look at Aaron Jones. Really good running back. 93 overall. He's got good abilities. pretty decent speed with 91 speed. He doesn't use any other backs for the most part. It's usually the Aaron Jones show, which we expect. On a fullback, you got Jamal Williams. So I expect if he ever comes out, he's not going to run a lot of I form. If he does come out in I form, it's going to be either a weak or a strong, and he's going to try to hit his fullback dives with Jamal Williams, or he'll come out in that pistol set that has a fullback on the right hand side and then a back in the backfield. Maybe stuff like that, but I don't expect him I form running it down our throats. You take a look at it. We just took a look at his wide receivers. He has a lot of good wide receivers. Marquez Valdes-Scantling got a lot of speed, and then he's got Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams seems to be the guy he goes to more, so we definitely gonna watch him and maybe double cover him. And he's got a pretty solid offensive line, nothing too crazy. Not the best offensive line we've seen, but not the worst. Also, the right guard was a high 60s. That's something we could take advantage of. And then you take a look at his defensive ends here. He's got Preston Smith, and then he's got I forget his name. Zadarius Smith. That's what it is. So he's got Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith. Neither have good block shedding, but they are very good at pass rushing. So it looks like for the most part he might be running a 4-3, maybe even a 3-4. He might run a mix of 4-3 and 3-4. But he's got Kenny Clark in the middle, who's got good run stopping ability. I think one of his superstar abilities is a run stopping type ability. So we definitely want to avoid running up the middle. For the most part, we might start attacking him on the edge, and then after we get him to open up a little bit, then we'll start running up the middle. You take a look at his linebackers, has decent speed. Micah Parsons, rookie out of Penn State, has decent speed. Then you see Rashaan Evans, who's a downhill linebacker, first down, second down type of guy. Not crazy good in coverage, I believe. Then you got Rashawn Gary, who I believe is more of a pass rushing linebacker, but he's got good athleticism, so maybe it's just because he has good athleticism and size that he has him there, or maybe that's just his 3-4. Maybe he is running a 3-4, and Rashawn Gary is going to be that guy that's going to be rushing in. You take a look at his corners. Obviously, he has Jair Alexander, who's a beast. Then we're going to take a look at his linebackers again, trying to figure out if he's running a 3-4 or 4-3, to be honest. He's got good size at linebacker, especially with the rookie he drafted. But back to his corners, Jair Alexander, 93 speed. I mean, there's not a lot of holes with him. Excellent man coverage, solid zone coverage. His press is solid. He's got good size. I mean, Jair Alexander is what you want in a number one corner. Then he's got Kevin King and Josh Jackson. He doesn't have much after Jair Alexander, but he's got, I mean, that's really all you need. You need a number one corner, and then a couple of guys that you could use are on that side, and take off some of the pressure. So Jair Alexander, I don't plan on throwing towards him. We'll see how it looks. See who's on his side. See if he's running man as zone. I expect man, especially with Jair Alexander having 97 man coverage. Then you take a look at his safety. He's got Adrian Amos and the other safety he had. I just missed his name. But he's got Adrian Amos, who's got really good speed. And then his other safety, I know it shows me scrolling through, but this was pre-recorded, so I gotta go look at his other safety real quick. He's got Adrian Amos, and then he's got Darnell Savage. Both have excellent speed, and they got a lot of speed in the secondary. I mean, you look at Jair Alexander, you look at Darnell Savage, and then you look at Adrian Amos. All of them got 92 plus speed, which is really good. Then we're gonna take a look at some of the stats. Jordan Love is having a decent year. He's being used on the ground, so we might want to use that QB contain. Also, might use a spy here and there, and we might want to avoid some man coverage unless we have a spy there. Then you take a look at his running backs. As I said, Aaron Jones was the only one. Aaron Jones was the only one being used. And you take a look at his receiving. Aaron Jones is being used extensively in receiving and rushing. As you can see, he had 18 receptions, leading the team in receptions, and then it's Devontae Adams, and then you see Marquez Valdes-Scantling behind him. So he's using mainly Aaron Jones, so we can expect a lot of screens, a lot of short passes, maybe come out in more man-to-man coverage with some spies. Just keep an eye on Jordan Love, and yeah, try to avoid getting beat by screens and little dink and dunk passing from the Packers, and maybe double team Devontae Adams over the top and hope for the best there. We're going to take a look at the abilities from his team. So we're going to roll over to the Packers. So you take a look at Kenny Clark. So he's got inside stuff, like I mentioned. That's his run stopping ability. Then he's got relentless. We have with Nick Bosa, so I know that means that when he's pass rushing, he uses less pass rush points or something like that. Then you took a look at Jair Alexander. He's got shutdown, which is a really good ability. Then he's got short route KO and deep zone KO. So I mean deep out KO. So when he's playing deep, he's going to be able to knock that ball loose, and also when he's playing those hard flats, he'll be able to knock that ball loose. Then you take a look at Devontae Adams, double me he's got, so pretty standard with Devontae Adams, and I think he's got short and elite or something like that too. So we got to watch for Devontae Adams, especially on the short routes. And pretty much we're going to double team Devontae Adams and make him beat us with somebody else. That also being Aaron Jones. Don't know how I'm going to do it yet. When it comes to, we got to watch out for Preston Smith. As you can see, he has strip specialist as well. And then he's got good abilities with David Bakhtiari. But back to Devontae Adams. I don't know how we're going to cover him. We might man up a safety along with the corner on him, but that's just going to draw the safety down, and he's going to get beat over the top. I would use her the safety to double team him, but unfortunately, if I do that, I do lose the man coverage on Aaron Jones, who seems to be used a lot. So I gotta really figure out what I'm gonna do there. Gotta try to shut down Devontae Adams and also look for Aaron Jones out of the backfield. So I got some time to think about that and do a little more scouting and try to come up with a way to take away Devontae Adams, but also take away Aaron Jones and make him beat us with somebody else. Like I said, I haven't really come up with that yet, but we got time. Advances tonight, and hopefully tomorrow I will have the game played, and then I'll have some highlight video from that, and then I'll have some news about this week's stats from the fair sim from the force win against the Green Bay Packers. But that's pretty much going to do it from this video. I'm sorry I didn't have any highlights for you. I wish I did. I wish the Rams were around. I really don't like free wins or fair sims, just because you never know what's going to happen, what kind of injuries are going to happen. And knowing my luck, I already lost George Kittle. I lost Raheem Mostert. I lost Kinlaw, just got him back. I could see somebody else going down this week. So I'm really hoping not, but I'll at least get the win out of this week. But that's pretty much going to do it for me, folks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and comment, all that good stuff. And I am out of here.